Okay, can everybody hear me? Uh-oh, no sound. Okay, can everybody hear me? Oh, there we go. There we go. Uh-oh. Shoot. All right, well, we're just going to do it this way, guys. Can everybody hear me? Shoot. All right, well, we're just going to do it this way, guys. Can everybody hear me? All right, so welcome. As you can see, make sure you hit the... This way, guys. Can everybody hear me? Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button as you come in. We're going to read off our disclaimer. But as you saw tonight's headline, it's Tristyn Bailey, a Mother's Day tragedy. This is about a 13-year-old little girl out of St. John's, Florida. So let's get ahead and start with our disclaimer. Our disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, research, and fair use is the use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I wasn't going to come on here tonight, but I wanted to come on here and cover Tristyn, and I spelled Tristyn's name wrong. It's supposed to be a Y, not an A. Tristyn Bailey. I wanted to address this, and the reason I wanted to address this is when I did my Sunday craft, I kind of vented a little bit about me dealing with a situation with my 14-year-old daughter wanting to go to the park at 9 o'clock at night with 3 boys in 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. Okay. My daughter thought that they were just going to go play on swings and slides because, number one, my daughter has chromosome duplication 16p.11.2. She's autistic, and she just thinks boys want to go play, that boys don't want to do anything else. So over the weekend, we had caught her making a Snapchat. Well, actually, she had the Snapchat made, and she said, "These are all my friends." I said, 527 friends in 7 days. People from all over, even from Abu Dhabi, the UK, other states. No, these are not your friends. You don't know these people. You don't even know if these men are actually men or if these girls are actually girls, and you don't know their ages. So no Snapchat, no, absolutely not, because you don't know how to process this. And I'm not dealing with a situation like this because this kind of thing really happens. So as this case unfolded, it really hit home for me dealing with a 14-year-old. It just really hit home. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like with her wanting to have, friends. I get that. Everybody wants to have friends. Number one, we're still having large amounts of COVID cases everywhere in the United States. Number two, the fact that an 8th, 9th, and 10th grade little boy wanted her to come to the park after 9 o'clock at night. Ain't no little boy going to go to the park to push you on a swing or go down the slide with you. My daughter doesn't understand what boys want, okay? She thinks they're going to come home and play with her LOL dolls, hold her fuzzy bunny, and play with her guinea pigs. That's not what they wanted to do. I guarantee it. But trying to keep our children safe in this world. How? How do we keep our children safe when we can't even trust their classmates? We can't trust people in our surroundings. It's just a really scary thought right now. So I was going to wait and save this for tomorrow night. And I'm like, no, you know what? I want this to get out there because this kid irritated me. He sat in the back of a cop car doing the peace sign, thinking it was funny, and we'll get into that. I'm still devastated on this case. You're thinking 13-year-old, maybe she ran away, yada, yada, yada. Not the case, guys, not the case. So this mother did not get to celebrate Mother's Day with her daughter, which is sad, very sad. And it's a sad outcome. Sad outcome. But that's why we're going to bring awareness to cases like this. We're going to educate parents about looking at your children's social media. That should be number one. And if they have social media, my daughter still doesn't have a cell phone. She's 14. She will not get a cell phone. She has a Gizmo watch. She can talk to people in the family. That's not a problem. But when you start adding like, oh, this friend's friend and this boy likes you. No, we're not going to go there. I'm not going to deal with this, especially with having a special needs daughter. And I would be just as crucial and critical with my older two daughters. I was exactly like the same thing too. Who are you talking to? What are you doing? But with my younger daughter here, we are going through her social media constantly. And she, like I said, made the Snapchat. She got a Chromebook for her 13th birthday, or 14th birthday, sorry, for her 14th birthday. And, I thought I could trust her. I thought we were over stuff like this, that we're not going to talk about boys. There's no boy toys and there's no F boys. And I mean, this was coming out of my daughter's mouth at 13 and she has never heard that. So we were really concerned and confused. So there was no social media allowed. There's been no cell phones. The only place she could have heard stuff like this is coming from school and friends. And come to find out, she was talking to an 18-year-old girl who was also in her special ed class. And this girl actually tried to Netflix and chill with my 10-year-old son, talked my daughter into giving out his school email, and she sent him boob pics over the school Chromebook to my son's school Chromebook. And that was a nightmare. A legit nightmare, because the school played back and forth with me. Oh, you need to go to the elementary school because that's where your son goes, and blah, blah, blah. The elementary principal, oh, you need to take it to the high school. I finally called my daughter's special ed teacher, and I'm like, look, if something doesn't get done, I'm calling the police. So what does this teacher do? She calls the 18-year-old student who was a senior last year, said, by the way, so-and-so's mom's very upset. Now, keep in mind, this teacher had not seen the boob pics yet. Okay? So one lesson that me and my other daughter learned, who's 20, she was 19 at the time. My daughter had messaged this girl on my son's laptop and said, what makes you think it's okay to talk to a 10-year-old like this and send him pictures like this? She's like, I thought he was in 7th grade. Hold on, guys. I'm coming back. So I'm going to come live. I thought he was in 7th grade. My daughter says to her again, what makes you think it's okay for you to talk to a 7th grade boy, being that you're 18 years old? At this point, my daughter's cracking knuckles, throwing fists. And you guys have all seen pictures of my daughter. My daughter will throw down in a heartbeat. Okay. This girl's like, well, if you want to talk, I'll give you my address. My daughter's like, no, you don't want to give me your address, because if I talk, we're talking with fists. We ain't playing. You're messing with my 10-year-old little brother. Needless to say, the police, the teachers and the principal never called the police, which really upset me. We do still have all the screenshots. We have all the proof in the world, the pictures of her boobs. She wanted my 10-year-old son to sneak out of the house. She was riding her bike past her house. I'm like, oh no, this girl got guts. So I finally stepped outside on the front porch one day. And I said, if you ride by here again, you will be arrested. I'm not playing. You are weird. You are sick. Go away. So just so everybody is aware, there's very sick people out there. And it proved to us, and it gave us a scenario of, there's not just male predators, there is female predators. That shit is real. Excuse my language. I'm sorry I let the S word go, but this stuff is real. So you do deal with male and female predators. In our situation, we dealt with it. So laptops for school were very monitored. Very much monitored after that. Like, we put cameras in the kids' bedrooms so we could watch and see who they were chatting with. We checked their history once a day. Like, things that a parent should be doing. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Things have changed since I was a kid. The streetlights were my parents. The streets were my home, okay? But even so, I could still run those streets. I could still run those streets. My streets were safe. These streets are not safe anymore. We didn't have phones. We didn't have Xboxes. We had quarters. If we wanted to go hang out, we went to the mall and went to the game room, okay? We didn't have games on our phones. We didn't sit in front of a TV playing on games and talking to people all over the world on social media. Not that my parents would have gave a shit, but they wouldn't have cared. Like, not at all. So, but I'll tell you, there's one thing that this mama doesn't put up with. I don't believe in gaming. If my kids get to play on their Xboxes or play on their laptops or play on their stuff, it's monitored. So let's get into Tristyn and what happened with Tristyn Bailey. I am going to come on tomorrow night. We are going to talk about this because Tristyn's not the first little girl that this happened to. There's also a little girl that was 13 years old and met a predator on social media. Was kidnapped on New Year's Eve 2002. So we're going to get into that story, and we are going to get into this more in depth. This week is going to be aware of your children's surroundings and who they're speaking to. Okay? Not everybody is your child's friend. You can't trust the computer, the Xbox, the cell phone to babysit your children. So this whole week is going to be awareness of that on this channel. Because as a mom who has dealt with this situation and having a female predator after my son, and the situation of my daughter adding a Snapchat without a parent's consent, and adding 527 people in 7 days that she didn't even know was sending pictures to males, boys, we don't even know if they were really males or really females. We don't know their real ages, and she doesn't know them. And when we asked her what, she's like, "Oh, they're my friends." So who's the guy with the Abu Dhabi last name? I don't know. I just added him. Alrighty then. Okay. So this whole week is going to be awareness of your children. Your teenagers still matter. Start being parents. Just on that subject. Now, on this sad, tragic Tristyn Bailey's Mother's Day nightmare, I can't imagine. And my heart goes out to Tristyn Bailey's family, especially her mom. But this is also to make awareness to check your children's friends and to make sure to keep your kids safe. Not that her mom didn't, but this is sad and tragic. So let's get started. Let me see if I can find. Hopefully it doesn't share. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to share a screen. And, oh yes, we definitely need audio, right? Because we want to hear this. So this is the missing child alert. Yep, that's the one we want. Okay. All right, so this is the one we want right here. So let me go to this one. So this is Tristyn Bailey, missing on 5/9/2021. She is 13 years old now. She's a female. Blonde hair, green eyes. She is 5'4" and 125 pounds, or 120 pounds, sorry. She is white, and she is from St. Johns, Florida, County, St. Johns County. This was an update. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement says 13-year-old Tristyn Bailey was found dead Sunday. We extend our condolences to Tristyn's family, friends, and the St. Johns community. St. Johns County Sheriff is investigating the case. St. Johns County, Florida, a missing child alert for a 13-year-old girl out of St. Johns County, Tristyn Bailey, 13, was last seen on North Durnan Parkway, St. John, Florida. Was last seen wearing a white cheer shirt, black or blue shorts, black Vans, shoes. She wears braces and multiple birthmarks on her face, a scar on her right forearm. And if anyone has any knowledge or knows where Bailey is, please contact this number down here. Unfortunately, Bailey is no longer with us. Okay. Look at this beautiful girl. Can I zoom in on this? It won't let me zoom in on this. Look at that little girl. Just gorgeous, you guys. Look at her. 13 years old. She is a year younger than my daughter. My heart is broken. All right, so we're going to take this one down, and we're going to go to the next one. Okay, so let me take this one off here, because then it's easier for me to find them, because I have so many pulled up here. I don't think that's the one we need. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's her picture. Okay, so this is the next one we're going to go to. All right. Screen share. Yes, we want audio. La-da-dee, la-da-da. Chrome tab. All right. Look at, there she is again. We're actually going to play this.
Meet the mayor of Gilman Road.
Boy.
He's painted most of these families' homes, inside and out.
You missed the spot!
Uh-oh. It won't let me skip the ads. Well, I don't like that it won't let me skip the ads. Because, like, we really want to see somebody rubbing their arm, right?
A Yulee middle school student is now suspended after butting heads with administrators over dress code.
Come on. Or did I skip too far forward?
Meet Omni, your results-driven marketing expert.
Oh, I don't want to meet Omni.
Full-service marketing. Personal.
What in the world did I just click on, you guys? I am so sorry. Yep, that's hold on, that is not what we want. Good Lord, baby Jesus. D, what did you do? Nope. And I just took that. Hold on. Let me pull that one up again, because did I share that on my Facebook? Oh, okay, hold on. I did share it on my Facebook. Sometimes I share the links on my Facebook so that I have it. And I didn't share that one. Hold on. I will go in. Bear with me. We will pull a new tab. Here we go. We're going to watch this one. So, let me go back into StreamYards and grab this one. Sorry, guys. I had everything all ready and set up like I normally do. And it just... And here we go. Let's press play. Alrighty then. We're just going to sit through this.
A Mother's Day tragedy. 13-year-old Tristyn Bailey is believed to be dead. She was missing for 16 hours before the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office called off the search for her. A body was found today in St. Johns County, and deputies believe the body belongs to Bailey.
The community was out for much of the day trying to track her down. Mr. Jax has a team of reporters gathering details on the search for Bailey, as well as what led up to her disappearance.
And we're going to begin with News4Jax reporter Bree Isom in the North Durban Amenity Center. Bree, what has happened since the search?
So since the search has ended, they've now changed their location. Officers used to be at the Veterans Park, but now they are right behind me at the North Amenity Center. This is on Durban Parkway in the Durban Crossing neighborhood. Now, today's been a long day of trying to search for that missing girl. And unfortunately, police say it did end the way that it did. Now, this is some video that we have from earlier. This is from Drone 4 of a heavily wooded area they were searching. Officers also had K9 units out. The search started just after 10 this morning when she was reported missing by family members. St. Johns County Sheriff's Office was staged at Veterans Park most of the afternoon. Volunteers who searched for Tristyn Bailey searched the woods near the park, then moved to the North Amenity Center. The search was called off at the Amenity Center, and police say the body of what they think is Tristyn Bailey was found at around 6 tonight.
This morning, at approximately 10 o'clock this morning, the St. Johns County was notified by the family of Tristyn Bailey that she was reported missing this morning at 10 o'clock this morning. 13 years old, white female. They gave a clothing description. The family last saw her last night at approximately midnight. And at that time, the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office in this community went to work this morning. This was an exhausting search by the neighborhood, by the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. We have located a body that is preliminarily identified as Tristyn Bailey. Again, it's in the early stages, but we will verify that through the process. I will tell you this again. We've notified the St. Johns County School District. This is a grieving community, and we're going to respect that grieving community. I ask you that you put this out there and you help us stand behind this community and let them grieve together. Anything I'm missing back here? This is the early stages of a very, very complex investigation. And with that being said, of course, again, we're going to give the respect to our investigations unit, Major Director Skip Cole and the CID unit, to go ahead and do their job from this point forward.
And we're joined here live by News4Jax crime and safety expert Ken Jefferson. So, Ken, they just listened to you in that briefing. The sheriff didn't really give us much information about what happened. They just said that they found a body that they believed to be Bailey. So just kind of tell us what you think about that.
Well, first, let me just say my thoughts and prayers go out to the family of this 13-year-old victim. At the briefing, the sheriff just gave preliminary information, basic information that we all suspected when they called off the search. And now they have actually moved from that location to here because this is, from what my understanding is, where she was last seen alive. And so this is a crime scene now. So now they've got to process this scene. It may take them throughout the rest of the night to process the scene. The sheriff was very careful in giving out information at this point because it is a very fluid investigation that's going on. Everything is preliminary, even though they found a body that of a more than likely the victim. They're very, very careful before they release any pertinent information regarding the victim as far as the state of her body, her identification, and things of that nature. So they just want to make sure that they dot every I and cross every T. So they move to this location so they can process this and see what else that they can uncover.
Now, Ken, do you know how long you think that this will take? I don't know if you've dealt with any situations like this one.
Yeah, sure. This could take all night. It depends on what they find. Depends on how broad they search the area, how much manpower that they have out here. It's a very methodical process. They want to make sure that they do it methodically, simply because if you have suspects in mind or suspects in custody, you want to link everything that you can find relating to this crime to them if they're the ones that's implicated.
Now, Ken, I know there's probably parents at home that are concerned. What kind of advice do you give to these families that are watching right now and seeing all this unfold?
Yeah, this sort of thing reminds us that we've just got to make sure that we keep an eye on our children. And that sounds so simple, but sometimes it's hard when you've got a persistent child. And I'm not saying that that's the case here, but as parents, it becomes our responsibility, as long as they're in our care, custody, and control. It's our job to watch out for them. It's our job as parents to make decisions for them. They may think that they're grown enough to make life's decisions when they really aren't. You got to watch them when they're on the internet. You got to watch who their friends are, who they hang with. You just got to watch everything. You got to be a parent, and all of that is a part of parenting. So my message to parents would be: watch your children, love them, but be a parent to them and not their best friend.
All right. Thank you so much. That was News for Jack's crime and safety expert, Ken Jefferson. Now, coming up at 11, I did talk to a neighbor in this community, and she tells me what she thought about everyone coming together to help find this girl. I'm live in St. Johns County. Bree Isom, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Bree. News for Jack's reporter Marilyn Parker joins us live from Veterans Park. It's where many people showed up to help with the search.
Marilyn, what are people there saying tonight?
Well, Scott, Janice, just like everyone, they were hoping for the best when they got here. They searched for a very long time. Many people, when they arrived, they said they were just trying to get as many answers. And, when they called the search off initially, people were saying that that's when they grew anxious and they were worried. But again, trying to get some type of details. And when we questioned the sheriff's office, we couldn't get much information. We want you to take a look at these Facebook posts. This is a post from Brittany Bailey, Tristyn's older sister. It says, "I've never seen my family in the state we're in right now. We just want baby Bailey home." And here's another post from a family friend that says, "I love this kid like my own. We're heartbroken not to know where she is." And I spoke with a close friend of Bailey's who says she spoke with her recently through social media.
But she's a really nice, sweet girl, and she's strong, and she's a great athlete. Last time I talked to her was yesterday, but we were Snapchatting, and that was at like 10 o'clock, but last time I saw her was probably at like cheer.
And we're told there will be a candlelight vigil tomorrow for Bailey at 8:30, and it's going to be at the amenity center where Bree Isom is right now. We're also learning that the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office is set to give out some more details tomorrow morning about this case. And coming up tonight at 11, I speak with Bailey's cheer coach from POA, and she describes her as a loving, caring person, and they are just heartbroken, as you can imagine, by this entire situation. We're live in St. Johns County tonight. Marilyn Parker, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Marilyn. And within the last 20 minutes, we have received this statement from an area school, Durbin Creek Elementary. It reads, "We are devastated for the family of Tristyn Bailey. We are asking all our explorers to wear white tomorrow in observance, #OneCommunity.
All right. So that's pretty, he wasn't lying when he said we need to watch our kids and we need to be responsible parents. Sorry, guys, I'm crying because this next video that I'm going to play is probably the hardest one, okay?
Meet Omni, your results-driven marketing experts. Modern, full-service marketing. Personalized strategies ensuring you get results. Omni, your results-driven marketing experts. Partnering in Jacksonville with CW17. It's on.
Breaking right now, you saw it unfold right here on Channel 4, St. Johns County Sheriff's Office with new information about an arrest, the disappearance and death of Tristyn Bailey, a 13-year-old. In St. Johns County, deputies found her body Sunday night after 16 hours of searching. The 13-year-old was last seen early Sunday morning in Durbin Crossing. We have a team covering this story. Ashley Harding's been talking with neighbors about the 13-year-old's disappearance, but we want to start off with Jen Reddy, who was there
at the news conference that just wrapped up. Jen, a couple of big takeaways from that news conference.
Bruce, that press conference just wrapped up, as you mentioned, and we did learn that the sheriff's office has made an arrest in this case. They've arrested 14-year-old Aiden Fucci. The sheriff's office says that he is in custody with the Department of Juvenile Justice and charged with second-degree murder. As I mentioned, that news just came from here at the sheriff's office just a few minutes ago. We are also learning that a resident in the neighborhood discovered her body and called 911. She was found in a wooded area near a neighborhood. At this point, no cause of death has been announced. The medical examiner is conducting their investigation right now, according to the sheriff. We are learning that Tristyn and Aiden attended the same school. Now, Tristyn was last seen at the Durbin Amenity Center in the Durbin Crossing community around 1:15 Sunday morning. She was reported missing by her family around 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. And yesterday, deputies and people from all across the community were searching this neighborhood for her. We are learning she was a student at Patriot Oaks Academy and was a cheerleader. She was described by her coach as a natural leader and loving young lady. At this point in their investigation, the sheriff says that they are still asking the community to come forward with any tips that they do have. Jennifer Reddy, Channel 4, the local station.
Jennifer, they are also still talking to witnesses, and the sheriff was pretty adamant that he is asking everyone to please respect the privacy of the family and those at Patriot Oaks. And as you can imagine, Tristyn's neighbors are heartbroken over this loss. News4 Jax reporter Ashley Harding has been in the neighborhood throughout the course of the morning. And Ashley, there is still police activity there. What are neighbors telling you?
Well, Bruce, we've spoken to them on and off camera, and they, like so many, are just struggling to understand why this happened. They want answers as well. Many of them were searching for this young lady, but you know something? There is a lot of support and solidarity here. Take a look at this right here, and you'll see that aqua blue ribbon there on the mailbox. You know, we saw on social media that there was a push for neighbors and people in the community to tie a ribbon just like that one on their mailbox. As we understand it, aqua was a favorite color of Tristyn. If we pan over to the left right there, you can see we are still here in this neighborhood. This is Castledale Court. You can see crime scene tape is still up, and there is still at least one St. Johns County deputy vehicle here. It is surrounding one of these homes, and we're still working to confirm the exact connection of this property to this investigation. Now, I also want to show this to you right here. This is new video we took of a similar scene. This is at Saddlestone Drive. You can see that it is a cul-de-sac. It's less than half a mile from where we are standing. That entire area, as you can see there, is blocked off with a St. Johns County deputy vehicle there as well. And we cannot show you enough pictures of this young lady, 13-year-old Tristyn Bailey. You heard Jennifer there say a student, a cheerleader, a daughter, a sister, and a friend. And I talked to one of the neighbors right here in this community. She had this to say. As a mother, yesterday was Mother's Day.
I know, that's it. That's it. Every Mother's Day, she's gonna be very sad. So I don't have nothing to say.
You put the ribbon out. Tell me why you did that.
Because my daughter told me to do it, so I feel if I do it, I do like for my heart.
And that really is the sentiment here. It was this morning and now into this afternoon. So many people just thinking about this family, grieving with them and praying for them. Now, we have also been told, we are learning that a candlelight vigil for Tristyn Bailey, 13-year-old lady, is planned for tonight. Of course, News4 Jax is following the story. Will be throughout the day. We'll keep you updated. Reporting live in St. Johns County, Ashley Harding, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Ashley. I can tell you that the sheriff and I have been texting back and forth throughout the course of the morning, and he wants to make it clear that there's a lot floating around on social media. And he says, don't believe everything you read. Meantime, students at Tristyn's school, Patriot Oaks Academy, showing solidarity as they attend class today. Classmates were seen wearing white shirts in honor of Tristyn. By the way, school counselors are there to help them because this is a very tough time for those kids. Still a developing story, much more to be learned. The investigation is ongoing. Stay with Channel 4. Keep checking news4jax.com for the latest updates.
Good. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I do want to introduce some of my key players and some of our people here in the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. That way, if you have some questions down the road, you have it for your record. To my immediate right, your left is going to be Director Russ Martin. Right behind me here is Director Scott Beaver. To my left is Director Skip Cole, Director Perry Hageman, and Director Tara Wilds. Off to our far left, kind of off camera here, again, is our investigative team, which is Captain Ryan Smith and Lieutenant Jeremy Russell. Of course, all the men and women that are actually working this case, and they're still working that case. Again, thank you for coming on short notice. We appreciate it. We feel like this information is important to get out. We're going to kind of regress a little bit and go backwards and kind of recap a few things from yesterday. We are going to take some questions at the end if we need to clarify a few things. I just want to kind of just backtrack where this incident occurred, when it occurred, and where it occurred. You remember yesterday at 10 o'clock in the morning, we received a call at our 911 communication center from Tristyn Bailey's family reporting Tristyn missing. We immediately went to work at the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office along with the community, and we verified that the last time Tristyn had been seen was last night or on Saturday night, early Sunday morning, just after midnight by her family members. Again, we went to a very extensive search, including our criminal investigation division, and also putting out everything we could think of to our media, putting out pictures of Tristyn, putting out anything we could think of. And again, that community really stepped up and got involved with us here at the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. At about 6 p.m. last night, one of our residents actually, based on the information we were putting out, was actually out looking around his area where he lives and actually discovered what has now been verified as Tristyn Bailey's body in a wooded area. I apologize. Thank you for correcting me. Tristyn Bailey. I do apologize. Tristyn Bailey's body that was actually located by a person in the neighborhood, a citizen in the neighborhood, and actually called 911, called the sheriff's office. We went out there and actually processed the body and recovered the body. Since then, we actually have arrested a suspect by the name of Aiden Fucci, F-U-C-C-I, 14-year-old. He's currently in custody with the Department of Juvenile Justice, charged with second-degree murder. Again, that second-degree murder case and charge came up with the corroboration of us, the Office of the State Attorney, and our investigative team. I will tell you this, this is a long process. We're in the very early stages of this. I think it's important that we actually put out that the suspect is in custody as we speak. There are no further threats to this particular case. And with that being said, again, this is a time for us to work with Tristyn Bailey's family to make sure that they have all the information way before you have the information. That's how we do business here in the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. So again, I'll take questions here. Do you have any questions?
Sheriff, there has been talk of possibly a second person involved. Is this definitively one suspect in this case, or was there any other witnesses or people around at this time?
That's a great question, but there's lots of witnesses. Again, we're in the very early stages. We're less than 24 hours into this entire case, a little bit over that as far as when it was actually reported. So that being said, our investigative team is out there interviewing all kinds of witnesses, whether it's indirectly or directly involved in this case. But as I told you before, we have a suspect in custody. That is the only suspect that has to do with the death of Tristyn. As you know, they're both attending the same school, or both attended the same school, which we'll talk about here in a minute, which is Patriot Oak School, which you know very well. I'm not going to say they were classmates. We've not verified that. Again, trying to give respect to the school as they go through their grieving process as well.
Did social media play a role? There's a Snapchat of Aiden, what is believed to be Aiden in the back of a squad car with a peace sign up saying, "Where's Tristyn?" Is that something that you guys are aware of?
Sure, absolutely. I will tell you this: our real-time intelligence center really have captured all these videos as much as we can. We monitor it, and unfortunately, with some of these things that are actually maybe you think are detrimental to the case, actually help us in the case, and actually don't actually hurt the case, because we're collecting this media, we're collecting this real time again, and people have rights until they're charged with a crime. I think you all know that in this room.
We heard she was in a cheer outfit. Can you say where and how she was found?
Again, this is the very early stages of this. The family would get that information first. As I told you before, it was in a wooded area. She was clothed, as my investigative team will tell you. But as far as what she actually had on and stuff, physically, the investigator process with the medical examiner's office is going on as we speak. And we're going to let them finish that process and make sure the family is informed of any findings first.
Did you find conversations between Aiden and her in the moments leading up to this? You know, how did they link up? There's talk from family that they saw her willingly leaving with him and another boy.
Sure. Again, I'm going to just caution all of our listeners out there today that just because it's on social media doesn't mean it's true. Our investigative team is collecting all those leads and processing those leads. And again, once we get the entire package together and her family knows first, then we will share it with you. Again, this was a day that we wanted to share with you that the suspect is under arrest. He's currently in custody with the Department of Juvenile Justice. He is charged with second-degree murder. We want to put our community at ease that we have that suspect in custody.
Why second-degree murder?
I'm sorry.
Why second-degree murder?
That is actually a decision that was made collectively, like I talked about before, with the state attorney's office. And that's one of those cases, too. We can always increase the charge. But as we spoke of this case last night, based on the facts we have, that's given time for our investigative team to continue to build a better and better case. We don't stop this process just because, I'm sorry, you're cut off. We don't stop this process of this case just because the suspect was arrested. This is a long process we have to go through. There's multiple crime scenes involved here, as you know. And with that being said, again, we're going to let our criminal investigations division do their due diligence and take their time and get this case right.
Can you give us cause of death? Can you give us a cause of death?
At this time, we're not giving the cause of death, but I will actually let Director Cole, if you want to add to that at all, let you add to it.
No, there's nothing to add at this point. Their medical examiner is still conducting their investigation. And once that's concluded, we'll share that with the family, and then we'll decide on whether to share it with the media.
So as I told you before, too, I'll reiterate again, they're physically in the process. This is not an easy process for the medical examiner's office. We're going to let them, again, take their time, be very thorough, dot their I's and cross the T's. It's important. We have a person charged, with a serious crime, and we have a family that's grieving the loss of a loved one, a child, a 13-year-old child.
Any weapons found? Any weapons found on any of them or
Again,
around
asking
her?
about weapons and clothing and stuff, we're in the very early stages. We're just over 24 hours in the beginning of this investigation. And in order for us to do some accurate interviews with a lot of people that are still out there, again, we're trying to feed off social media too as well, meaning that as we get tips, we actually follow up on the tip. But if we give all the information out there now, again, with respect to the family too as well, we're giving the answers to some of the questions that my investigators
There's
need.
been hostility
Thank
and
you.
even threats made on social media. Can you say anything to calm the community who's very unhappy right
Sure.
now, and there have been threats made, accusations made, things of that nature, that you can maybe say justice is being done?
Sure, absolutely. I'm glad you said that too as well. I mean, justice is being served. However, we know the community is angry. This is a very tight-knit community of St. Johns County. And there's great families out there. So they've taken this personal. So again, all we can simply do is we ask, and I'm glad you said that too as well, is that let this case go through the process and go through the system. Let us do our jobs. Let the medical examiners do their job. And let the state attorney's office prosecute this case. So I'm glad you brought that up. And please allow us time to do this. And again, let's not accuse people inaccurately. We have the suspect in custody, and we cannot bring Tristyn back. So we don't want to make this case and what it already is. It's bad enough as it is. So thank you.
How much did surveillance play a role in this
one question
case?
at a time, please. Yes, ma'am.
Is the suspect facing any other charges besides second-degree murder?
At this time, again, very early stages. I'm going to keep saying the same thing over again. I hate to say that to you, but again, we're in the very early stages. So at this time, he is charged with second-degree murder. And he is in custody, Department of Juvenile Justice. Can we add charges on? Sure, that's a collaborative effort we would do with the Office of the State Attorney. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us anything about what they were doing before they ended up in the wooded area? And also, are you still asking for people to come forward from the community?
Sure. If you still have a tip out there that can assist us in this case, we're not going to stop you at all. Matter of fact, our criminal investigation division will follow up on every single tip. Again, we're trying to not release too much information because we still have tips that have not been worked. This is in the first 24, 48 hours of this investigation. These men and women have been out all night long in the criminal investigation division trying to follow these leads up, and we are not done following the leads up yet.
Charged as an adult?
So at this time, that is a decision that was made by the Office of the State Attorney, along with us and the family meeting together. But we believe as of right now, he's being charged with second-degree murder. And again, we'll work with the State Attorney's Office on seeing what they're actually going to do with that charge.
The cheerleader was told.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 1 second too. Just to follow up on that question too, we want this process to be finished at the medical examiner's office across the street to add all those findings together and then present it again to the State Attorney's Office and/or grand jury. Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Particularly, we're told as a cheerleader, is the suspect an athlete at People's Academy?
So at this time, we're not going to get into victimology, what she's done in her past. We're trying to bury that, verify that, of course. And this is something private. No, I know I'm trying to cover back up on the original part of that question. We want to make sure we're accurate too with her information too, because I'm going to be honest with you, her information is more important than his. So I really don't care what he did in the school system, whether it be sports or whether it be music. I'm more worried about Tristyn and her family. So as we get into the actual of the background of the suspect, that will come out later on in the case. We're still working those leads.
You say there were witnesses. Were any witnesses directly at the time of the crime, or just people who saw them beforehand?
I think it's fair enough to say now that we believe we have, of course, our victim accounted for, unfortunately, and we have our suspect accounted for. The witnesses, of course, are just a cumulative getting the case together indirectly or directly prior to. We believe we have everybody accounted for.
But was anyone there at the time of the crime?
We're in the very early stages of this. We have a suspect arrested, and we have, unfortunately, a 13-year-old girl that's no longer with us.
How much did surveillance play a part in getting you guys to an arrest?
Sure, I will tell you this, and I cannot thank our community enough. This is the relationship we have here in St. Johns County with our community. The community helped us solve this case. When I say they went to work, they went to work, whether it be on social media. I mean, we saw moms and families yesterday walking in the wood line in clothes like church clothes yesterday. This is how passionate they were about solving this case or helping us solve this case. You all were out there last night. I saw you. You saw families lining the roads. I mean, we had an influx of people trying to donate food and people coming from other parts of the county and the state, law enforcement agencies stepping up, trying to help us out. This is a community that's very tight. I mean, as you all know, the circumstances are surrounding this, where everything's kind of at. It's relative to each other. I mean, these kids went to the same school together. This is a very tight-knit community over there. And again, I can't thank our community enough. So between social media, and I call it boots on ground, they went to work. And this case was solved because a gentleman saw the information put out there and went to work looking around his immediate area where he lives at. So we can't thank him enough and thank the community enough.
We'll take one more question. Are you able to tell us a little bit more about location? You said wooded area. Is it closer to Veterans Park? Is it closer to the neighborhood? How far deep into the wooded area did this person have to go to?
Sure, and I'm going to leave that to Director Cole if you want to answer any further.
I mean, all I could say is once we put the mass notification out, people started looking. The gentleman that lived in the subdivision was out on his normal walk and jog, and he was doing a little bit extra digging in a remote area around a pond and located it.
Near the neighborhood or near the, okay.
Yes.
Near his neighborhood?
Yes.
How did they know each other?
It's classmates, and they all grow up in the same neighborhood.
Were there any threats to her?
We appreciate everybody coming today. I'm going to finish with this. And I hope this is not a personal attack on the media at all. I'm just going to simply tell you this. Yesterday, I asked you nicely that we pay respect to the family as they grieve. And Tristyn's family, of course, listen, I understand your job and I respect it. And most of you know that and you've known me a long time. However, this morning, kindergarten, K through 8th, Patriot Oaks Academy, that's 5 years old to about 14-year-old kids, were bombarded by media entering a school this morning. Some of them couldn't even get in there because there was so much media coverage out front of that school. I understand it. I respect it. But I asked you nicely to give them the opportunity to grieve. You think that 5-year-old child walking to school this morning knew what happened yesterday in Durban? Probably not. They do now because they got to go home and ask their parents what happened. Again, this school is grieving. This community is grieving. Tristyn is not coming back. They loved her in school. And we have a person charged for a murder. So I ask you again. I ask you nicely. I asked you yesterday the same thing. That you give respect to the family. In the school up there, you got a principal who's dealing with a large community of K through 8 parents and kids trying to grieve a murder. Not a missing child anymore, by the way. A murder of a 13-year-old girl, Tristyn Bailey, who's not coming back. So I ask you again, please give this school some respect so they can get the proper grieving in there for these kids and get them home safe and get them through this week and finish out this school year. Thank you for your time today. We appreciate you. As any other information comes up, you'll be notified immediately. As soon as we leave this press conference today, Parade Pass is going to forward you any information that was put out this morning, including the suspect's name and date and age and where he's currently located. Any other updates will come from Parade Pass. Thank you for your day. Have a good day. Be safe.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I really hold on.
Reality is boring. All my life and more like.
Hold on, guys. I really liked that sheriff. Okay, he was straight and to the point. It's not about this boy. He could care less what he did. It's about Tristyn at this point. This case, is tearing at my heartstrings because there's a mom out there without her child, and she can't ever get her back. Yes, social media played a huge part in this. So when I checked my daughter's Chromebook on Sunday and saw that she had made a Snapchat and had over 527 people, not everybody's your friend. Not everybody's looking out for you. We have to be on everything. Now, I have a picture of the Snapchat of Aiden Fucci in the back of the cop car. I'm debating whether to play this or show this. It's already all over social media. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And let me see if I can zoom in even more. And that's as far as it will let me zoom in on that picture. So there's the picture. Peace sign, the back of a police car. That's sad. That's so disrespectful. Hurtful. Like that tore up my heartstrings. So let me go to my Facebook because I did save something else that I wanted to play. And let me share another screen with you. And here's a few more ads for us.
Things are better when we work together. Everyone has to share. No one can have seconds. Until everybody has firsts. When you have too much, you should help your friends. If kids get it, why can't our lawmakers? Oh. The rich and innocents need to pay the fair share so we can all thrive.
Oh, now I can skip the ad, huh?
And right now at 5, we start with our top story, a developing story this evening, the mystery surrounding the death of a 13-year-old girl in St. Johns County. This is Tristyn Bailey right here, her life taken on Mother's Day. She was a student at Patriot Oaks Academy, a beloved daughter, sister, friend, and a cheerleader. And here is what we know so far about what led up to her death. The sheriff's office says that she was last seen Sunday around 1:15 in the morning at the Durbin Amenity Center, a neighborhood gathering area. By 10 a.m., she was reported missing. Sunday night at 6, the sheriff's office called off its search. Her body, they say, was discovered in a wooded area.
And today, the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of 14-year-old Aiden Fucci. He's now charged with second-degree murder in the death of Tristyn. First Coast News is covering every angle of this case. On your sides, Jocelyn Howard is talking with community members who are remembering this young life cut short.
Community shocked, saddened tonight, but we start tonight with On Your Side's Jessica Clark with what we're learning about this suspect. Jessica? We are at the Durbin Crossing North Amenity Center, and this is the last place where Tristyn was seen alive, and already friends and neighbors here in the neighborhood have laid flowers here just to remember this very vibrant, energetic young lady, Tristyn Bailey, 13 years old. She was on a cheer team. She loved cheer, had won an award for being the best cheerleader in the area. But you know what? It was just a few blocks away where there was crime scene tape still roping off the end of a road where her body was found in the woods, just on the other side of the tree line. And St. Johns County Sheriff announcing the arrest of 14-year-old Aiden Fucci, a classmate of hers. I'm told by other classmates they were friends. The sheriff said a man who lives in the neighborhood went into the woods near his home yesterday when everybody was out and about trying to find what had happened to her, try to find her. And that's when that neighbor actually found her body yesterday afternoon.
The community helped us solve this case. When I say they went to work, whether it be on social media. I mean, we saw moms and families yesterday walking in the wood line in clothes like church clothes yesterday. This is how passionate they were about solving this case or helping us solve this case.
And later today, after we heard from the sheriff, I saw a dive team head into the area by where her body was found. They are diving in a nearby lake, very close to that wooded area. Also, a crime scene truck was positioned at a house that we're told is where Fucci, the suspect, lives with his parents. And that truck was there for several hours this afternoon. Not a lot of information being given to us from the sheriff's office about how she died or what was the motive. They're gathering a lot of information, saying they're also waiting for a full report from the medical examiner's office. We're live in Durbin Crossing, where a lot of children and families live who know of these people involved in this case. Jessica Clark, First Coast News, on your side. Such a tragedy. Jessica, thank you. We know that there is a lot of information that's been circulating out there. So tonight we want to break down what we verified to be true, what's false, and what we don't yet know. So under the verified true column right there, the sheriff's office in St. Johns County confirming for us today that the body found last night has in fact been identified as 13-year-old Tristyn Bailey. Now, 14-year-old Aiden Fucci is in custody tonight in connection to her death. The sheriff says Tristyn and the suspect did attend the same school, and we're told that social media posts did help investigators in this case. Now, a look at what's false so far. Many posts circulating online suggesting that there were two suspects involved. The sheriff says Fucci is the only suspect. Also, the family telling us this afternoon that they have not set up multiple GoFundMe accounts. We have placed a link to the only one set up by a family friend on the First Coast News app. Tristyn's father telling me that anything else is fraudulent. And here's what our team is still working to verify at this hour. First, a Snapchat post allegedly from the suspect from the back of a patrol car mentioning Tristyn by name. That has not yet been verified. Also, the medical examiner has not determined the cause of death, and it's not clear if prosecutors plan to charge the suspect as an adult.
All right, guys. at that beautiful girl. That's Tristyn Bailey. Please lift her family up in lots of prayer. Very sad Mother's Day. Very sad story for Bailey's mom. Tristyn Bailey's mom. Sorry, guys. This is heartbreaking. And after I did my craft yesterday, I heard it on the news. I was going to come live and do it last night, but I wanted to make sure that out of respect for the family and for the media to be able to get correct and so we can verify everything. I'm not sure why they have not verified the screenshot that I have copies of, but it was out there. He did do a peace sign up at the back of the squad car. So this whole week is going to be educational for us as parents, because even me, I'm still learning. I don't want my 14-year-old made a Snapchat without my knowledge. I don't want her having social media, period. The only thing she needs is that gizmo watch and her family, because we know where she is at all times. We cannot be our kids' friends. We have to be the parents. And we have to do it for everybody out there. Because we can't trust their friends. You can't trust their schoolmates. You can't trust, like I said in the beginning of this video, back in my day, those were my streets. Our streets are not safe for our kids anymore. And we need to change that. We also need to educate ourselves about checking to make sure our kids don't have social media. Or if they do have social media, that we're on that right then and there. Who are they hanging out with? Because my kids will tell you straight up. With my older kids, there wasn't getting nothing past me. I was worse than a cop, worse than a detective. My daughter, her first job, my older daughter, I used to sit across the street because she worked overnights. When she graduated from high school, she worked overnights. Okay? She worked overnights. And a few weeks prior to her starting overnights, this McDonald's was robbed at gunpoint. 2 people were shoved in the cooler. So you better bet I was parked across the street watching this place while she worked. And just before she'd get off shift, I'd leave and go home, pretend I was sleeping all night, which I didn't sleep. Now, did I have access to my older daughter's social media? No. If I wanted to, she would have handed me her phone, her computer, anything. Me and my older daughter are very, very close. My older 2 daughters, we're all very close. My older boys were close. It's not that I'm not close to my younger kids, except my younger kids are very sneaky. And they don't know how to communicate like my older kids did. And my older kids will tell them, you need to go to mom. You need to talk to mom. You're not grown. You're still a child. So these kids think they can get anything by me. It's not going to happen. One of the things we're going to address is discipline, how to discipline your child when you do find things. Right now, my daughter is grounded from her Chromebook. When she does get her Chromebook back, she will have to be in a room with an adult. After she's done using that Chromebook, an adult must go through it and check it. And the Chromebook's now going to be in my bedroom. She's not going to have access to it unless somebody is per se there with her. Just because She also is autistic, and she is a vulnerable child. I mean, come on, this little girl come downstairs at 8 o'clock at night and said, hey, can I go meet the boys at the park at 9:30? It's for FFA. Miss me with that shit, honey. It ain't happening. But what really got me is what she pulled next. I said no. She went upstairs and told Dad, I've got a 4-H project, or FFA project. I've got to meet 3 boys at the park at 9:30. My husband was going to take her. He come down the stairs. I said, what are you doing? Where are you going? Oh, you got to take who, where? I sent her rear end back up the stairs. I sat him down on the couch and said, it's 9:30 at night. There's an 8th grade boy going to be there, a 9th grade boy, and a 10th grade boy. I said, honey, do you think they're going to give her a good push on the swing? Go down the slide with her, come back and hold the guinea pigs and play with the fluffy bunny? I said, what do you think they want with your 14-year-old daughter this late at night at a park? And why would you even think about taking your child to the park? Honey, you got a point. Man, his eyes, my husband's eyes got big as quarters. $50 even, probably. I said, So then we made her come back downstairs. I said, don't ever play me against your dad or your dad against me, because that don't work in this house. If I say no, it means no. Don't say go to daddy. Don't go to your older sisters. Don't go to your older brothers. Because if I say no, it means no. So she got grounded for that. I also let the teacher know. So, and I don't know what her obsession is with being boy crazy. Like, she got a sweatshirt, is it a Under Armour sweatshirt? And it's like a teal sweatshirt. I want to say it's either Under Armour or Adidas. My daughter got it for her at Once Upon a Child. This little girl lied in a conversation on social media to another friend through Hangouts and said, oh, it's my ex-boyfriend's from my old school and his name is Talon. There was never, and let me tell you, the old school she came from, there was 35 fifth graders, okay? 35 fifth graders, and not one of them were named Talon. It was a very small school district in a very small town. We're talking rural farm town schools. Okay. No boy named Talon. She made it up. She lied. And that sweatshirt was not her ex-boyfriend's. It was the sweatshirt my daughter bought her from Once Upon a Child. But I am not sure what her obsession about wanting boys' attention, because she doesn't understand that a boy her age ain't looking to come play on the swing set or hold her guinea pigs or play LOL dolls or play with her fuzzy bunny, because that's not the fuzzy bunny they want to play with. So we really need to educate these girls, boys even. It's a scary world, and it's getting even scarier. Story after story. Tristyn after Tristyn. Child after child. There's people missing. There's boys missing. We really need to come together as a whole United States. We really need to work together on making it a safer place for our kids, and the generations after us. Because if we don't start now, it's just going to get worse. And on that note, thank you everybody for coming to Dee Dee's. Have a blessed night.